Johnson Matthey reported results for 2014-15 today. Are you pleased with the overall group performance?
Sally, yes we are. It's delivered, the group's results are delivered in line with our expectations that we set a year ago. We made good progress in a number of areas. ECT in particular did very well this year, and when we look at the results for the group as a whole, although we had a couple of headwinds, our results were good, showing 6-7% growth. But if we take those headwinds out, which were the impact of foreign exchange and the impact of the loss of the MacLeod contract, our underlying performance was therefore up 15%. But it's not just about the profit numbers, it's also about the other things going on in the business. And we made a very good improvement in our health and safety statistics, which is very important for us as we're driving that down and trying to improve our performance overall, but also making some progress in acquisitions. I'm particularly pleased with the ones we did in the battery technologies area, battery materials ones, one we just did recently in atmospheric control, but then also at the same time we've made a couple of disposals, a bit about actively managing the portfolio for the group for the longer term. So yes, very pleased.
And how should we see these results in the context of the Capital Markets Day that was held back in January?
You're right. So yes, in January we talked to the shareholders about our long-term future for the group. And we talked very much about chemistry and its applications, what Johnson Matthey does well. It's all about that at the bottom, the chemistry, the core of what we do, chemistry and its applications. And that's what drives growth in the business. And what we said back then, we expect double-digit growth on average for the group. We've delivered that on an underlying basis this year. The year going forward, we'd expect to be there or thereabouts, and then we'll carry on at that sort of level in the years ahead. So absolutely consistent with what we said back in January.
And how should we see the recent acquisitions and disposals, and what should we expect going forward?
Sally, I've already mentioned that we did a couple of acquisitions and disposals this year. Why did we do them? Well, the ones we acquired was all about setting us up for growth markets in the years going forward, using, as I said, chemistry and its applications to drive the performance of the group in the future. High growth areas, new market opportunities for that next engine of growth for the business. At the same time, as acquiring businesses, you've got to look at your business model and you've got to look at where you can apply your capital and your expertise. And that's why we disposed this year of our gold and silver refining business, the heritage of the company in many ways, but it's no longer a core area of focus for us, and therefore we thought it was best to sell that to somebody who would be a better owner for the business going forward. And as we announced today, we're in advanced negotiations on the sale of our research chemicals business, which is a good business, but no longer fits with our business model going forward. So active portfolio management is what I think many companies should be doing in the future. Going forward, what does that mean for us? I think we need to continue to have M&A as a portfolio, as a part of our business growth. We do a lot of organic growth, but M&A is a way of supplementing that to grow quicker. And so hopefully you'll see more of that going forward, but targeted in areas where we think we can make a difference.
And finally, Robert, tell us how you see the outlook for Johnson Matthey.
I think, Sally, the outlook is pretty good for Johnson Matthey in the year we're now in. I think the reported numbers will be a little bit more challenging because, of course, we've made these two disposals, which will impact the reported numbers. But if I look at underlying, I think we'll continue to make good progress, particularly in ECT and in fine chemicals. I think those businesses are set fair. The impact of the disposals will particularly hit precious metal products. And then, of course, I think process technologies is the area where I think we'll have hopefully a flattish year this year. But depending on the risk, that's where the area of risk is in the group. And new businesses, I think the integration of the acquisitions we're making is very important. And I think the loss in this year will be lower than it was the year we just finished. And we're set fair, I hope, for break even in 17-18. So overall, when I look at the group, I think we're well set for the year, not just this year, but for the future growth as well.